Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cleveland Browns franchise. I'm your host Husker Eurocat, and today the Brownies are on the road at Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Last week, in the Browns' win over the Philadelphia Eagles, the defense came alive. The Eagle rushing game was stifled, gaining only 27 yards on 14 carries. The passing game of the Browns suffered a huge loss in the injury of free safety to Sean Gibson, suffering a broken arm that will likely keep him out until the playoffs, should that happen, which looks very promising right now. In the meantime, it was going to be up to Raheem Moore to carry that position, and the head office of the Browns organization wasn't sold on that idea. So undrafted rookie free safety Josh Jones out of North Carolina State was signed to a one-year contract. Primarily, he was signed as a backup, but his recovery and overall speed surprised the coaching staff, and he'll be given a shot at starting against the Bengals. To be honest, I look for him to get picked on a lot by Andy Dalton. So he's going to be thrown to the Wolves, or Bengals as it were, and we'll have to see if he can stand up to the pressure. Now we welcome you to the Jungle. Paul Brown Stadium is the site of this 88th edition of the rivalry between the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals find themselves on the winning side of that rivalry 50 out of the last 87 meetings. The Browns, with their outstanding aerial attack, hope to change that statistic in favor of Cleveland, but the Bengals are at home and have other plans. The Bengals are coming off a close victory at Baltimore and are having a good season, and they would like to keep that ball rolling. They've won the toss, elect to receive, and we're underway here in Cincinnati. Brandon Tate takes the ball 4 yards deep in the end zone, and he runs out of the end zone. Perfect blocking to the 41-yard line. So on 1st and 10, with the blitz coming, Dalton gives off to Jeremy Hill for only a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 8 now, and the Bengals convert. Bernard doesn't get out of the backfield. That gives the Browns their first stab at it. On 2nd and 8, Stafford rolls to the right, and he fumbles the football. It's recovered by Ray Maluga and out of bounds inside the 10. This is not starting out good for the Browns. Andy Dalton connects over the middle with Marvin Jones for a touchdown. The Bengals strike first. Marvin Jones gets the inside track on Justin Gilbert, and it's 6 for the Bengals. Now Stafford goes back to pass, and it's a long and complete to Rashad Perriman. Touchdown, Browns! Matt Stafford loads up and throws a 47-yard strike to Rashad Perriman, who takes it the rest of the way for a touchdown to even up this game. The Bengals score, the Browns score. And Brandon Tate brings it out of the end zone, and he slips through the coverage, and he may be gone, being chased by Ashley Palmer at the 20. Touchdown, the Bengals. Oh my goodness, is either team going to be stopped? This has to be some kind of record. 21 points in 25 seconds. Now it's the Browns' turn. Stafford goes back to pass, rolls right, and it's incomplete, intended for Gary Barnidge. Stafford from the shotgun goes back to pass, and he throws across the middle to Gordon to the 48-yard line of the Browns. Now Stafford hands off to Duke Johnson, and he's up the middle and into Bengal territory. 3rd and 4 now. Stafford goes back to pass and throws long and incomplete to DeAndre Hopkins. That brings on Andy Lee. Try to pin the Bengals deep. Can he do it? And it's out of bounds inside the 5-yard line at the 3. The Bengals trying to get it out of the shadow of their own goal line. And they get a 3-yard gain with Jeremy Hill up the middle. Dalton hands it off to Hill, and he's got room. He is in the clear, folks. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, the Bengals. They're about the 45-yard line or so. Josh Jones, the rookie, takes a stab at trying to tackle him. Can't get it done, and it's now 21-7. Stafford throws to Perriman, and he almost breaks it for a big gain, but has a first down. Now Stafford throws incomplete to Perriman over the left side. 3rd and 10. Stafford goes back to pass again, and it's long and complete to Brashad Perriman, tackled at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10. Stafford has him in the eye, and Duke Johnson can't get out of the backfield. 2nd and 12. Stafford goes back to pass, and it's complete over the middle to Jack Doyle. 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Stafford goes back, rolls to his left, and throws touchdown to Brashad Perriman. Wow, he waited a long time and threw a bullet in there to Perriman. And now it's 21-14, and we haven't even got out of the first period yet. Now it's Jeremy Hill up the middle for a short gain, and he is hurt. Down, injured his elbow, and we'll try to get more on that injury. 2nd and 9 now. Dalton goes back to pass, and it's complete to Tyler Eifert, just short of the first down. So on 3rd and inches, Dalton throws long, and it's complete over the middle to A.J. Green, and he's got the touchdown. Bengals. Justin Gilbert just isn't having a very good day at the cornerback position. You can see Green and Gilbert battling. Gilbert goes up for the ball, but just misses. And that propels Green into the end zone for yet another Bengals score. Stafford hands off to Johnson, and he's up the middle to the 30-yard line. And that finally brings a close to the first quarter. 28-14, the Bengals have the lead. With a sideline report, let's go to Eurocat Baby.
There is a serious concern here on the Browns sideline. They find themselves in a position that hasn't happened yet this season. Down 14 points and not able to find the answer to help stop the Bengals offense. A 28-point first quarter has to be changed if the Browns are going to have any chance at a comeback.
You're right, EB. Something has to be done, and now. On 2nd and 5, Stafford brings the Browns to the line, and he takes too long. Delay of game, but I'll back him up another 5 yards. So on 2nd and 10, Stafford goes back to pass, and it's complete to Malcolm Johnson, out of bounds at the 31. On 3rd and 4, Stafford back to pass, and it's incomplete, intended for J-Ron Hosley. That gives the ball back to a hot Andy Dalton, and he throws long and complete to Marvin Jones inside the 30-yard line. It just seems there is no stopping this Bengal offense. Bernard goes up the middle for a 4-yard pickup. So on 3rd and 7, Dalton is sacked. Brandon Spikes comes through untouched. And that brings on rookie Jake Elliott for a 47-yarder, and it's up and good. 31-14. And the Browns are venturing into uncharted territory with Stafford getting almost sacked in the backfield. 3rd and 8 now. Stafford rifles it complete to Perriman, and he's got lots of room. 30, 20, 10, Touchdown, Cleveland. That was a dart from Matt Stafford, complete and bad tackling on the part of the Bengals. Rashad Perriman just flips around and he's on his way for the score. 31-21 and still in the second quarter. Dalton hands off to Giovanni Bernard and he gets a 10-yard gain, almost getting a first out of it. Not quite, inches to go. Dalton decides to run and is sacked by Brandon Spikes. Third down conversion here with Brown showing blitz. And Dalton goes back to pass and it's complete to Marvin Jones. And he's down and injured as well. His shoulder a problem. Now with Bernard the lone back. Dalton is back to pass and decides to run and it only gets just a few yards. 3rd and 4. Dalton hands off to Bernard and he's caught in the backfield. Tackled by Paul Kruger. 1st and 10 for the Browns. Johnson up the middle for a very short gain. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning where the Bengals have a 10-point lead. We just got word as well that Jeremy Hill is out for the rest of the game with that bruised elbow, and they're going to evaluate him after the game. After a failed 3rd down attempt, Andy Lee is on to try and pin the Bengals deep again, and he does inside the 15 of the Bengals. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Bernard travels to the right side and picks up 4 yards. 3rd and 6 now. Dalton hands off to Bernard again, and he is tackled inside the 20. Back in the hands of the Browns. Stafford rolls to the right side and throws complete to Gary Barnidge, and he's out in the open. 10-5, touchdown Cleveland. You can see Stafford had plenty of time and waited for Barnidge to make his cut, and a beautiful catch inside the 35. A couple of missed tackles by the Bengals, and it's now 31-28. Dalton hands off to Zach Line, and he has a few yards up the middle. 3rd and 5. Dalton scrambles and is caught by Desmond Bryant for a sack. That brings on Locke Edwards to punt it away, and Moreau gets and he fumbles the football at the 50-yard line. It's once again the Bengals football. He got popped hard by Will Clark, and out comes the football, and the Bengals retain possession. 1st and 10. Dalton throws, and it's intercepted by Justin Gilbert, and he's back to the 20-yard line. Oh, man. Justin Gilbert was waiting back there, almost baiting Dalton to throw it, and intercepts the football, taking it back to the 21-yard line. So 1st and 10. Stafford has to jump for that one, and it's complete to Perriman, and he fumbled the football, and it's Bengal football. You can see on the replay it's a perfect pass, but he gets leveled by Lamar, and the ball just pops out and recovered inside the 20-yard line. Now from the 16 and a half, Dalton, and it's intercepted again by Justin Gilbert. This time I have a feeling that Andy Dalton wanted to go a little bit further outside than that, but there was Justin Gilbert ready for the interception. Now on 2nd and 10, Stafford throws to the end zone, and it's caught by Vontae Davis out of bounds. So that brings on Kaimi Fairbairn for a 44-yard field goal. And with 3 seconds left, the game is tied 31 apiece. And that's where we go into halftime. Take a look at that offensive output in the first half. The only issue is that none of the drives for either team were sustained for very long. Each team is proving that they have a quick strike ability. Oh, that one is for sure. What are the Browns going to do to slow down this Bengals offense in the second half? Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium for second half coverage of our game between the Bengals and visiting Browns. Before we go to the action on the field, let's go to Eurocat Baby to see what she was able to get from the coaches.
Coach Bettini told me that they made a few adjustments in the defense to slow down the Bengals, and it seemed to work in the second quarter. Now the goal is to keep it up in the second half. He also felt that getting the running game going is key since the Bengals are stopping that pretty good. While Coach Lewis was happy with what happened in the first quarter, he's very concerned that they couldn't sustain that in the second quarter. He said that now that each team has kind of figured out each other's game plan, it may come down to a couple of big plays, and that is what they have to avoid giving up to the Browns.
Before I let you go, is there any word at all on how serious the injury to Marvin Jones was?
I was told that it was a minor shoulder bruise when he got hit pretty hard by Justin Gilbert. Barring any re-injury, he should be good for the rest of the game.
Well, with Jeremy Hill out too, it has made an impact in the second quarter of this football game. Let's see what's going on in the rest of the game. The Browns get the ball first here in the second half. And first down with Luke Johnson in the backfield. He counters to the left, and he has a first down over the 40-yard line. In the split back set, Stafford goes back to pass and throws long, and it's intercepted by Vontae Davis. And he's back outside the 25-yard line. You take a look at the replay, it looks like a pass play to Vontae Davis, definitely having position on Hopkins and made the interception. On 2nd and 12, Bernard in the backfield. Dalton passes over the middle, complete to Green at the 37-yard line. 3rd and 2, Dalton throws outside to Brandon Tate. First down for the Bengals. From the 43.5, Dalton goes back to pass, and it's complete to Marvin Jones, who almost gets it to midfield. 2nd and 4, Dalton back to pass, goes long and complete to Tyler Eifert. Touchdown, Bengals. You have to watch out for Tyler Eifert. He has some speed for a tight end, and into the end zone he goes. That puts the Bengals on top 38-31. And on 3rd and 10, Stafford throws long, and it's complete to Brashad Perriman inside the 40-yard line of the Bengals. 1st and 10, Johnson goes right side, and he's got a nice gain inside the 25. From just outside the 20-yard line, Stafford rolls to his left and completes it to Barnage over the middle. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. The handoff is to Duke, and he gets taken down in the backfield. Tackled by Michael Johnson. Stafford goes back to pass, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Reggie Nelson, who brings it out to only the 2-yard line. Let's take a look at that on the replay, because I don't know how far he got out. The 1-yard line is where they're spotting the football. Give us to Bernard up the middle, and he gets to the 5-yard line. So on 2nd and 6, the give again is to Bernard, and he is stopped shy of the 10-yard line. 2 yards to go on 3rd down. On what looks like a broken play, Dalton tries to run the football and is tackled in the backfield. First and 10 for the Browns. Stafford goes back to pass, and it's long and complete. Touchdown to Breshad Perriman. The long air attack of these Browns is paying off. Tied again, and now at 38 apiece. Give us to Bernard up the middle, and he goes to the left side, and he's out past the 40-yard line. The end of the third quarter with your score, 38-38. This is now turning into more of a defensive ball game. On 3rd and 8, Dalton back to pass, decides to run, and doesn't make the sticks. And Cincinnati is keeping the offense on the field, and Dalton is sacked by Barkevius Mingo and Ashley Palmer. Oh, what a turn of events here. Keeping the offense on the field certainly wasn't a good deal for the Bengals. From the Bengal 48, Stafford is sacked for a 7-yard loss to the 45. 3rd and 17, and he's sacked again back behind the 40-yard line. The Bengals rising to that occasion. Now on 2nd and 12, A.J. Green gets the first down out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Now from the I formation, handoff is to Bernard off the left side, and he's to the 35-yard line. 3rd down conversion coming up, and 4 yards needed, and Dalton is sacked. That gives the ball back to the Browns on 2nd and 10. Stafford goes back to pass, completes it over the middle to DeAndre Hopkins to the 40-yard line. 2 yards for the first down. Stafford throws to Duke over the left side, and he has the first down out of bounds. On 2nd and 8, Stafford goes back to pass and is sacked yet again. Now from the 36-yard line, Stafford goes back to pass and throws long and out of bounds. 4th down, and it's Bengals ball once again. 2nd and 8, Dalton goes back to pass, and it's complete to Green over the middle to the 44-yard line. That brings us to the 2-minute warning with your score, 38-38. What an exciting little finish this is turning out to be. 1st and 10 from the 45. Bernard goes up the middle for a 5-yard gain to midfield. And Cincinnati works from the hurry-up offense. Dalton back to pass and is sacked. And that is a fumble, and it's recovered by Dion Dawkins. So it stays with the Bengals. They're still in the hurry-up offense. Dalton back to pass, throws right side and incomplete. Off the mark on that one. So that brings on Locke Edwards to try and pin the Browns deep, and he kills it at the 13-yard line. Stafford and company starting deep in their own territory, completes it to Perriman. Dre Kirkpatrick falls down, and he's got it all the way inside the 20. 10, touchdown Browns. So with just over a minute left to go in the game, the Browns take their first lead of the football game. And with that reception, that makes 5 on the day for Breshad Perriman. Now the Bengals starting from their own 18-yard line. Andy Dalton completes it to Marvin Jones at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun and in the hurry-up, Dalton back to pass. Incomplete, intended for A.J. Green. 3rd and 10. Dalton goes back to pass, completes it to Green, but it's 4th down, and A.J. Green is down and appears, it's showing that he hurt his elbow, holding his hand. Dalton completes it to Sanu at the 45-yard line. The Bengals have new life out of the hurry-up offense. Dalton goes back to pass and is almost sacked. Hit as he threw it by Barkevius Mingo. So Dalton on 3rd and 15 now. Completes it to Bernard up the left-hand side for a first down. Now at the 42 of the Browns. And in the hurry-up offense, the ball is spiked. 2nd and 10. Dalton out of the shotgun. Throws complete to Marvin Jones at the 34-yard line. 4th and 2. Dalton throws complete to Mohamed Sanu with 8 seconds left and counting. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the last play of the game, Dalton throws complete to Jones at the 1-yard line. The Browns remain undefeated. 45-38 is your final score. What a defensive second half. I'll tell you, this was kind of like a game of two halves that came out of, well, different games. The scoring frenzy that went on in the first half sure didn't transfer to the second half. Although lots of yardage was posted on the board, each team was able to keep each other in check. That long pass completion to Brashad Perriman and that drive by the Bengals that almost put the game in overtime, and me, well, let's just say that I don't have any fingernails to file off, that's for sure. In the final analysis, those 5 turnovers by the Bengals really put an end to this game. If the Bengals wouldn't have been so loose with the football, it could have been quite a different ball game. Only 45% complete and 2 interceptions didn't stop Matt Stafford from throwing for over 500 yards in the air and 6 touchdown passes. If that wasn't good enough, there was Brashad Perriman with 9 catches for a record 398 yards and just a meager 5 touchdowns. What a day on the field, folks. Carlos Dansby continues to set the tone for the defense with 8 tackles, but look at the rookie Josh Jones. His first game and he had 6 tackles with 0 catches allowed. I would say that he did just fine in his debut. Brashad Perriman takes home the honors for Offensive Player of the Week, and in a 1-point victory over the Panthers, Washington's Ryan Kerrigan is selected as the Defensive Player of the Week. The Browns will be on the road again this next week, this time playing the Miami Dolphins in Hard Rock Stadium. The Finns are coming off losses to both the Texans and the Lions and need a win if they're going to stay solvent in the hunt for the playoffs. That won't be an easy task given that Miami is having a subpar year and they're playing a strong team in the Browns. They do have a strong rushing game behind the running of Lamar Miller and Jay Ajayi and the 8th-ranked scoring defense, but they're playing the number 1 ranked pass offense in Cleveland. With players like Jarvis Landry, Olivier Vernon, and Quentin Coples, well, who knows what could happen in this one. Keep in mind that if you enjoyed this video, leave a like so that others can enjoy it as well. And if you would like to be notified when there is a new one, subscribe by clicking on my icon at the end of the video. It's been our pleasure to bring you coverage of the Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, and be with us in our next episode when the Browns travel to Miami Gardens to square off against the Miami Dolphins. Until then, for Eurocat Baby, I'm Husker Eurocat saying so long for now, and have a good day, everyone.